were referred to the high-risk department at Stanford Medical Center, where the highest risk specialist, referred me to bed rest. If any of you know me, I'm a little bit hyper, and bed rest 6 months was no easy deal. But they said that's what we needed to have a healthy child. So I prayed with a fervor bordering on fanaticism for my son to develop into a strong and healthy child, one who would proceed into life rich with experiences, and the life force that person, who we came to know as Derek, was formidable from the beginning. He beat all odds to charge into the world with a vigor and an enthusiasm for life and humanity and action that was notable from the earliest age, right up until his final day. In the multiple tributes that we all have struggled to compose this week, we have tried to summarize the many gifts that Derek gave to us. I can tell you as his mother, we will never be able to sum him up. He was beloved without bounds. He was brave in all ways. He was beautiful beyond compare. And he was the amazing Dewick. If any of you know him around kindergarten, first grade. Ours came a little late for him. So the amazing Dewick proclaimed himself as he entered himself in the first grade talent show at his big elementary school solo. And he performed magic tricks, which he had taught himself in our basement and rehearsed copiously with his parents. His father and I were just amazed, indeed, that this brave little boy was confident enough to stand before a full audience and wow us with tricks that he had taught himself and carry it off with such aplomb, and of course a top hat that didn't fit on his curly hair. We would shake our heads and wonder so many times as he tackled each new skill and situation with aplomb. MVP wrestler, state qualifying discus thrower, a t-shirt he wore for many years, even after that sport was beyond, DJ of his own radio show, his first semester as a freshman in college, DJ Dandelion. He was a glacier climber, he was a musician, he was a world-class son, friend, and boyfriend. And he was picky. He didn't just associate with anyone, he associated with everyone. And he loved us all. Okay, Maddie? Still okay? All right. In the past few horrendous days, assessing the damage of our ruined existence, we have noted case after case of miracles in our presence. I'm wearing here a necklace from his friend, the Bishop of Rank Diocese in Sudan. Sudan has sent love to Derek today. They saw him as a walking symbol of love. We've noted case after case of miracles in our presence. Loved ones flying days across the prairies, driving, assembling from at least 12 states that we've counted so far, on a moment's notice. Streams of people appearing at our home with food and supplies to be that in, sustenance, strength to lift us up. High school friends, lifelong friends, college friends coming to our house just to hug Mr. Harms tonight. Songs composed by broken-hearted friends and performed by lifelong friends. We marvel at all this and we utter, it's another Derek miracle. Nothing short of miraculous how this young man of only 20 years of age brought together not just one community, his beautiful hometown, but he wove together multiple communities. His sports friends, his extended family, his college friends, his camp friends, his travel friends. You're all here together and we are one community. That's no fake news. This is the community of Derek, celebrating Derek's love, strength, and humanity. Because we've known him, we are all better people. Thank you so much.
Okay, everybody, give it up for Mrs. Harmer. Let me get this thing up here. Bear with me as I make noise. Okay, I think that's a tall guy size here. Ooh, look at that. Matt. We weren't sure on a short notice, tragic event like this, you know, how news travels. You all know we're Luddites and not Facebook fans and social media people, just because we're busy and we do other ways. But in this instance, we found the connections of people to really just take off at a level that was pretty astounding. We thought maybe a couple hundred people would show up here today, and it's over 5:30, which is truly amazing for the amazing Derek. We thank you for cutting this time out and making these travels, because I know a lot of people pick up work and all kinds of things, and planes aren't cheap, and on and on and on. You know, this kind of despair has no bottom to it. And you folks are helping make a bottom to it. You're giving us a place to go forward from, and show that you appreciate it, his friendship, and all the things that have brought you here today. So I'm going to try and tie a few things here together between, on one side being stoic German dad, and on the other side being blubbering father. The emotion has been tough this week, but we made a vow this morning to try and take the energy of everybody traveling here and turn it into an energy of positive, behavior. Hi, I can see you. Hi. I'm going to, if you bear with me here, I'm going to tie three things together. I'm sorry, this thing is still just not quite right. I think that's the sweet spot. Mr. Audio. Hey, anyone that knows me, I'm all about the sound. The Derek Creed. Derek used to always say, I call the amazing Derek a very spiritual guy. He wasn't a real churchgoer, to mom's dismay. But he was very spiritual, and he used to always say that people live on when you mention their name and tell stories about them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weave together three stories about the amazing Derek, and I'm going to start before he was born. In 1997, I was commissioned to do a poster for a printing company out in California. I was an illustrator, a commercial illustrator at the time, and they wanted to show off the capabilities of the printing presses. What that meant is they wanted a fancy-dancy image that was very technically demanding to print, and then they would show it to all kinds of print brokers and advertising people and say, well, you should print with us because look at this golly gee wow poster. They gave me free reign to do whatever I wanted. So, you get numb with that kind of offer because normally you're always answering questions as a designer and solving solutions. So I said, oh, well, what the heck? We're going to have, so this is 1997 that this was commissioned, and they gave me free reign. So I'm going to read a couple things, so bear with me as I paint this three-piece thing. So I'm going to read quickly here about this poster in Derek. This poster was made as an exhibition piece of a printing company. They gave me free reign to do any image I wanted, but it needed to be complex and show the press capabilities. A companion sheet explained the capabilities and the text describing the concept behind the image. It reads, so there's a sheet that overlaid this, and it read, so keep in mind, 1997, new millennium was the buzzword that all kinds of things were going to happen when 1997, 1988, 99, 2000, our computers were going to melt down, and the second coming was happening, and all these things. So it reads, the new millennium is almost here, and change is on the horizon. This year, my wife and I are celebrating our 4th wedding anniversary. We're extremely excited, and our first child is due to arrive in just a few weeks. Therein lies the inspiration for this poster. We have our sights set on new horizons filled with magic surprises, bewildering adventures, and sleepless nights. Maybe my head is in the clouds, like the guy in the big hat on the poster, but that's not such a bad place to be. Sweet dreams. So that was on a companion sheet. So there's a figurehead of a man with a giant cat, and then there's a telescope with a woman looking into the future. All right, that was an abstract image that I thought was appropriate of like what's coming, new millennium, yada, yada, yada. Okay, the artist type. What I'm going to do now is read my address to our son. And after that, a letter, and then the boys are going to sing. So this is the first part of, if Derek's motto was, people live on when you mention their name and tell their stories about them, I was telling his story before he was born. That's the significance, for me at least, of this poster. So now I go to what I wrote here, and I'm going to start with a subhead, and it says, Derek left us much too soon. Derek left us at the young age of 20. Someone said he was so good God wanted him back early. Yet even at this young age, he has inspired many of us and left us with so much more. His life was filled with the free, full spirit of adventure. His last day on earth was spent doing exactly what he loved best, living the thrill of the outdoor experience. Derek could never settle for a life of containment in an office cubicle. Excuse me. Yet even so, he was not reckless with adventure, and instead conformed to the careful rules and precautions that should ensure safety. He carried a Heart-Saver CPR AED card in his wallet, and he was a certified lifeguard. No parent should ever outlive their children. I'm convinced this is one of the most profound universal truths. That said, we might all benefit by moving forward with at least a small touch of Derek's spirit of adventure. The hair. It's not just about the hair. Grandpa Harms used to say that Derek had great courage to walk around with hair like that. He was his own man. And if you traveled with us in airports or whatever, everybody's looking. Some go, golly gee wow, some coming up for photographs. some wanting to touch it, pat it, and some looking like, oh, why would you let your kid walk around like that? Okay, I understand all of it. But Derek, he was a good kid. He never got in trouble. He got his grades and was with the right group. So, big hair, who cares? Yes, Derek was confident and comfortable with himself. I mean, you don't walk around like that out the door every day not feeling strong about what you are or who you are. He had no agendas, and he was kind. The Dearborn, Camp Dearborn, which was a bigger part of his later development, the Dearborn Creed says, manliness requires kindness. And I think that was Derek. Excuse me. His hair said, I am what I am, so now just talk with me. Let me have a drink here for 1 second. Derek brought light into the room. A lot of people that know Derek always talk about his smile and his humor and his witty observations. And, he wasn't the dark cloud that came into the room. He was just kind of always up, however he did that. Most of the photographs you see he's a pretty happy guy. So, many have traveled far here to make it today. Texas, California, Minnesota, Oklahoma. I mean, people have traveled far. That's amazing. As I look around the room tonight with this impressive gathering of fine people, your presence here gives us strength. As you can imagine, this is pretty devastating stuff. And, we've had a lot of not good sleeping nights. I'm losing weight. Running on bile and adrenaline for the most part. But the folks have been trying to feed us all the time. Better eat this, better eat this, better eat this. Ooh, more sugar cookies. Not bad. I also believe that why you have come here today was to know what a fine, unpretentious individual Derek was. No Eddie Haskell types were tolerated in his circles. And for all the younger people, there used to be this program where it was this kind of family living in the suburb, and there was this guy named Eddie Haskell that was kind of tried to brown nose the parents all the time, but they knew he was the bad seed friend. Anyhow, Derek didn't really go for those types. And instead, Derek, he brought light into the room, and he brought friends that brought light into the room. Under this heading, Derek he was an outdoor adventurer, a traveler. They went to the Pacific Challenge. It's a 9-week adventure in New Zealand and Australia. That was first class for those that you don't know. He was a leader, a friend maker, a participant, an adventurer, a climbing instructor. He played and performed music. He was DJ Dandelion at college. Some of you heard him, and he was actually pretty good. He was filled with sly humor, observant, kind, self-confident. He was active in many sports. His last one, he was on the Ultimate Frisbee team, and a lot of those boys were here today. You guys were great, and you're going to hopefully win the next one for D-Man. He was a counselor and a staff member, a camp leader, a lifeguard, Red Cross and CPR certified, a good student, and most importantly, he was our son. I could go on and on, but I won't. Now, instead of using my words about Derek, I'll use those of another. In this case, it can be more powerful to hear someone else speak about your son than myself. I'd like to share to you a letter that was written by Yates Webb, a camp counselor at Camp Dearborn. It was dated August 5th, 2013. So Derek would have been 15 years old when we received this letter at our house. It was mailed to our house, and in it he reveals to us Derek through his words. Even though it's on the poster over there, as I read this letter out loud to you, I believe this to be a meaningful and proper way to memorialize our son. By doing so, we honor the Derek Creed. And as a proof that one life can inspire others to do the same, you will soon be hearing John's song. He and boys are going to perform a few things, but they wrote songs specifically for Derek. And they'll be performing that for tonight. So this is the second part, so bear with me that if I'm repeating myself. The poster was prior to Derek's birth, and we made an announcement of our joy in his coming into the world. Now I'm going to read a letter of while he was alive and what he did and who he was, of somebody telling us about him. Again, age 15, August 15, 2013. Dear Mrs. Harms, my name is Yates Webb, and I have had the amazing opportunity to be Derek's Coogee counselor, that's their cabins, and Voyager leader this summer. Voyager was a water trip they made to the Fossil Islands, and it was pretty rigorous, 7 days out with weeks worth of food. I'm under the impression that you have received many Deerhorn counselor letters over the years. By the way, all Deerhorn people, we got clearance from Yates that we're okay to read this. So I decided to address this final letter to Derek directly. Please read it to him upon his arrival home, and I would appreciate that. Thank you. And here he says, Derek, what a trip. I want to let you know how impressed I was with your leadership and the attitude this summer at both camp and Voyager. I'm not sure if you know this, but there are a lot of people around Deerhorn who are campers, both campers and staff, who look up to you. You have a natural ability to laugh about any situation and, more importantly, make others around you laugh. It's an inspiring talent. The Deerhorn Creed talks about striving to be a friend to everyone, and he underlines everyone. And if you know Derek, he was not a judgmental guy. And it is so apparent that you live those attributes every day. Every day you are at the camp. This is the line I think that I've heard on the internet. Your heart is as big as your afro. It comes from this letter, Mr. Yates, because somehow it already got around to us. I'm so glad I got to spend a kayaking section at Voyager with you. I'll cherish some of these memories forever, and know you will too. Hiking around Basswood Island, chilling at the picnic table, making cheesecake, looking at the stars, and talking on the Oak Island sand pit, looking out over Lake Superior sunset. Wow, they were doing a lot of looking. As you continue through high school and eventually on to college, here's some advice. Keep loving everyone. You have a way of making everyone around you feel included. And that trait is worth a lot. Keep laughing. You are one of the funniest dudes I've ever met, and you constantly remind me to never take life too seriously. Remember Deerhorn and these memories. They'll stick with you your entire life if you let them. Come back to camp. You have an amazing future ahead of you here at Camp Deerhorn. Live the creed at home, just like you do here at camp. I'm so glad I got to spend the summer with you. Stay in touch. I can't wait to see you back here for years and years to come. Your friend and Deerhorn brother, Yates. That completes the second part of what I'm trying to tie together. Before I was born, what we thought, what someone at age 15 wrote to us about him. That's, for me, the creed of people live on when you mention their name and tell stories about them. That's a hell of a story and would look good on anybody's resume. So what I'm going to do now here is the third part of this is, this was before he was born, while he was born, and now John is going to sing an incredible song he wrote about Derek and what John has said, that would be okay. That, and Marshall, you brought up this point that John was with Derek on the ski hill accident. They skied together for a couple of days, him and Bobby, and we're having a good time. And so he is as devastated as anybody can be to be where something like this has happened. So I'm going to get away from the mic, and I'm going to get John a chance to share his song with you here today. And we've seen it on he sang it in his room on video to us, and I said, you've got to sing it. We don't have a name for it yet. Is that right, John? And it's okay. So maybe we could, have a name submitting something, if that helps, or if it's permissible. I don't know if it's permissible. We'll give away a convertible for the best name. And John here is going to come up, and I'm going to get away from the mic, and thank you for your time. Give us a minute while we figure out these mics, okay? That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I'll lock her in. Ready? Ready? Oh, that's perfect. How's that? Okay. Yeah. Get out of the way.
So, like Mr. Arm says, we don't actually have a name for this song. I don't know what to call it either, so you guys can think of the name. I just want to say a few things first, too. I met Derek on the trip to New Zealand or Australia. That was when we first met him, and he was probably the most crazy, wild dude I ever hung with. And, he and me went on a lot of adventures together. We had a lot of trip plans for snowboarding. And it's unfortunate, but, he was a great soul, had a great heart. I think he touched a lot of people, especially as a camp leader. He was a hero to a lot of younger kids, I believe, and that's kind of partially what this song is about. Okay? Thank you. Listen while you close your eyes for the very last time. Wish you could say goodbye on the very last ride. And I'm so sorry, but you knew really how to have a good time. And I know your story as you show the world your heart. You are my hero as you show what love is. You are my hero as you look from up. You are our hero as you live so free. You are our hero as we sing for you. And you helped me find peace in my own life. You helped us soar our dream when we were too scared to see. And we're so sorry that we're lost in our own words. But I hope you know that we can finally see that you are free. You are our hero as you show what love really is. You are my hero as you look from above. You are our hero as you live so free. You are our hero as we sing for you. As we sing for you. oh, oh, as we sing for you.
As you can see, John really has added the part that goes on for Derek's Creed. Now we have a song that we can play afterwards about Derek and who he was, and that, for me, is the last part of the Creed. He's passed away and inspired someone to make a song that powerful. And we are really grateful for John, and we're going to try and find a worthwhile name if he was our help. Now we got some other singers here, and Papa, and these gentlemen are going to come up and introduce themselves. And go ahead, come on. Jordan is real good. Come on up, gentlemen. Where do you go? Would you welcome them? Thank you. How can I help you here? When can we help you get going? Can you tell them what you're going to do and who you are, and I'll get out of here.
I'm Papa. One of Derek's very close friends from camp, one of many, as you can see. I'm wearing this shirt, this peach-colored Columbia PFG shirt, because it was Derek's favorite shirt. I'd wear it anytime at camp. We'd have a day off, or go anywhere, and so all of my best memories with Derek, and there are so many, are in this shirt. If you look on my Facebook profile picture, it's a picture of me in this shirt, and then right in the comment section is Derek. It just says, that shirt. But of the many great memories I made in this shirt, actually the best one I have with Derek was pre-shirt, which was right when I met him. Ended up being my second to last year as a camper at Deerhorn, and we were in a Coogee together with Yates and Johnny Sudicum, and found out that Derek played guitar and I like to sing, and so the first